I am Zane, a relationship consultant and psychologist. And I want to start by saying this. Sometimes, emotional abuse does not look like abuse at all. It can look like love. It can look like concern. It can even sound like reason. But if you have ever found yourself second-guessing your own feelings or constantly apologizing for things you do not fully understand, there is a quiet chance you are being manipulated. Emotional manipulation is not about healthy disagreement or the rough patches that all relationships face. It is about a pattern, a slow erosion of your sense of safety, your sense of truth, and eventually, your sense of self. Emotional manipulation versus normal conflict now. Healthy conflict, the kind that brings two people closer, lies on mutual respect. It allows for hurt feelings and misunderstandings, but it always circles back to repair. Emotional manipulation, on the other hand, is not interested in repair. It thrives on imbalance, where one person's needs always overshadow the other's, where control is disguised as care, where love feels conditional, unpredictable, or confusing. 1. Gaslighting. Let us look at 7 hidden signs of emotional abuse, each one subtle enough to miss, especially in the early stages. The first is gaslighting. Imagine this. You bring up something that hurt you, and your partner responds that never happened, or you are too sensitive. Over time, you begin to doubt your own memory, your instincts, even your reality. That is not miscommunication. That is psychological sabotage. 2. Guilt tripping. The second is guilt tripping. Say you want a weekend to yourself and your partner says, after everything I do for you, you cannot even spend one day with me. That is not a request. That is a trap. It turns your autonomy into selfishness and forces you to earn their love by sacrificing your peace. 3. Withholding affection. Third, withholding affection. Emotional manipulators often use silence, distance, or coldness as punishment. After a disagreement, they shut down completely. Try to fix it, not because you are wrong, but because the silence feels unbearable. That is how control replaces communication. 4. Constant criticism disguised as concern. Fourth, constant criticism disguised as concern. You wear something new, and they say, "You sure that suits you?" Or you share a dream, and they ask, "Do you really think you can pull that off?" His comments wear you down slowly. You start shrinking yourself to avoid being judged. 5. Shifting blame. Fifth, shifting blame. No matter what happens, somehow it is always your fault. They forget your birthday. You should have reminded them. They lash out. You made them angry. When the accountability is never mutual, that is not a relationship. That is manipulation. 6. Mixed messages and emotional whiplash. Sixth, creating confusion through mixed messages. One day they are deeply loving. The next day they are distant and cold. You never know where you stand, and you end up chasing their approval. That unpredictability is not random. It is designed to keep you hooked. 7. Subtle isolation. And 7th, isolating you subtly. Maybe they do not tell you to stop seeing your friends, but they question why you spend so much time with them, or they make you feel guilty for confiding in others. Slowly, your circle shrinks, and they become your only emotional anchor. How to recognize the early signs. The early signs are often easy to rationalize. You think they are just having a bad day, or maybe I am being dramatic. But if you feel emotionally drained, chronically anxious, or like you are constantly walking on eggshells, that is your nervous system trying to protect you. Listen to it. What you can do if you recognize these patterns, the first step is naming them. Say it out loud. Write it down. Okay, your reality language. Then set small boundaries. You do not have to confront everything at once, but you do have the right to say, "I need space," or "That did not feel okay." And if those boundaries are met with more punishment, more blame, or more guilt, that confirms what you already know. You deserve a relationship where your voice matters, where love does not require self-betrayal. Healing begins with believing yourself. And sometimes, that belief is the most radical act of self-love you can commit to. Have you experienced any of these signs in your own life? What helped you realize something was not right? I am Zane, a relationship consultant and psychologist. Next time, we will talk about why some people fall for emotional manipulators again and again, how to finally break the cycle. Until then, stay close to your instincts. They remember what your mind may forget. If this spoke to you, subscribe to STR TV for more grounded insights on love, healing, and emotional truth. I will see you in the next one.